So over a decade passed before Scream 4 came out, and I've heard you discuss your initial idea for the opening scene that involves Sydney. Can you tell our listeners what your original opening was for Scream 4? Just because I think it's really awesome. It was an awesome idea.
Yes, it was her fighting. It was her fighting off. And you kind of, I think, just by showing Sydney in the first scene, you're going to think she's going to be the first victim, and that she's going to die, right off. And then she, of course, killed the killers in the opening scene, and then in a home invasion situation that incorporated this really fancy alarm system. And then she killed the killers, and then I just went 1 year later, and then Scream. Was it 4? Yeah, it started, and the people she had died were connected to the story, and it was a totally different story.
Wow.
And Jill was meant to survive Scream 4 and get away with the killings, correct?
Yes, Jill would have survived because in planned trilogy, Jill would have survived. She would have gone to college, and now she's got the fame of Sidney Prescott because she's a celebrity victim, which is all she wanted in the first place. And so she's like, this big star on campus, and these murders start happening. And so there's a serial killer who has realized that Jill's the real killer and is killing her friends and taunting her. So she has to, in turn, find out who the killer is, and it's killer against killer.
Wow. So that was
Scream 5, and it was more about, and I think Courtney's character was teaching journalism at the college, nice. and so forth. So
and was Sydney in part of Scream 5 too?
Yes, yes. And she meets someone in Scream 4. And then in Scream 5 was her love story. And Scream 6 would have been her love story. 4, 5, and 6. 6 would have been the love story of Sidney Prescott. And it would have been this whole thing of she's fallen in love, she's going to get married. It's all based around her marriage when these murders start happening again. And it's like, is this man that she's in love with the killer again? Is she Billy Loomising herself all over again? Is she still making the wrong decisions? Is she still choosing the bad guy? And of course, the big result was it wasn't. He was there for real. And she was and I wanted her, and she got her happy ending. Because I felt like she had just gone through so much. I was absolutely determined that Sidney Prescott had overcome all of it and had a happy life.
That's great. So when was it determined that Jill would actually have to die at Scream 4, and who determined? Was that a studio call? No,
Wes wanted her to die. I don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting because it would have.